International Women's Day is an excellent time to talk about women in the industry. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you. So Lianne McOuat, I actually went on your
McOuat. Yeah, that's
McOuat.
good.
I went on your LinkedIn. I love that you have the sound bit. I have to copy that for my last name as well. You are principal and partner at McOuat Partnership, and you lead strategy. And from what I know, you also lead many other initiatives within your team. The company has been around for, is it 30 years or 40 years?
We're closing in on 50. I think it is 48 years.
Amazing. And I know that you specialize, or your company does say that it specializes in the real estate and new development vertical, but there's so much more that you do. I will let you have an opportunity to tell us about your kind of start in the industry and where you are now, if you don't mind.
Sure. Our typical elevator pitch that we would give to a developer when they call us would be, we are a family business. Our father started the company in the early 70s and ever since has been specializing in real estate development, working with every kind of vertical in the real estate world, whether it's low rise, mid rise, high rise, the retirement industry, multifamily apartments, industrial, commercial, and retail. Anything, if it's real estate, we touch it. And we've had the opportunity to work on over 3,000 communities across Canada, North America, and the Caribbean. So, we will say that we are Canada's most experienced real estate marketers, I think, because we've been at it for close to 50 years, but also because we, have had a chance to work across so many different provinces, cities in the US, and quite a bit in the Caribbean. So our dad retired about 8 years ago, and my three brothers and my sister and myself, we've all been here working with him basically since we graduated university, which was, kind of a natural for us, to be honest. It was a very cool company. We all were kind of in the communications field in university, and so we get along great, and we thought, why not all work together? My dad kind of also gently pushed us in that direction. We worked our way up.
I have to say that must be so special. And it's so unique to hear that a family business, first of all of you get along enough to work together and actually pass on such amazing experiences to your clients who continue to come back throughout the generations. I don't know many businesses personally that have succeeded that way. So kudos to you and your team.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we are definitely lucky, but also I think our father just instilled in us values that we are hopefully aligned with our clients. So we are lucky enough to have clients that see our values and they also have those same values, that it isn't about a transaction, that it's about a relationship. And so when we service our clients, yes, we are an advertising agency, but at the same time, we develop a relationship so that they will call us and say, I'm thinking about buying this piece of land. What other projects have you done in the neighborhood? What's your experience? And we're able to pass on a lot of intel and free information before they even consider buying the land. And then when they do buy the land, they'll say, what kind of houses should we design, Lianne? What kind of lot size works in this neighborhood? What's your experience been? So we can say to a brand new developer, I know a ton of architects that would be perfect. We can say we know construction managers, we know property managers, and help them bring a team together. So it may not be like what a traditional advertising agency would do, but it's marketing. Marketing is differentiation. So how are they going to be able to sell versus a competitor and, hopefully get more money for their houses as well?
Absolutely. And it seems like your team has mastered connecting all of the dots. We need this. Well, we've got this person. Well, this is the next strategy. Well, we can connect you here. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, I think that's the values thing as well, like connecting people, bringing people together. That's really what it's about. You want to spend your time talking to people that are great and working with suppliers and consultants that are great. So why not try to kind of like build a team around you, which is why I refer Spark when I can, because I'm super impressed with the company and everybody that's there. So why not refer, any type of consultant or product to, one of our clients? It just makes sense.
I love it. I can only imagine that throughout the years working with your family and your team and the company, there's probably so many moments that you could say like, wow, this was a defining moment or a phase in my life that really shaped you. And not to put you on the spot, 'cause there's probably lots, but is there one that kind of, excuse me, stands out where maybe you had to really, step into courage to cause a shift, maybe a positive change, something that wasn't happening, that's helped define you and who you are today?
That's a great question. I think working so closely with my father for so many years, people would call me Mini Chuck. That's his name. But we spent a lot of time together driving to see sites, traveling together to go to developments, just soaking up sort of everything because he's kind of a bit of a guru. So he loves to teach, and there's always a lesson in everything he's saying. So I really always soaked that up. But when he was retiring and I had to really sort of claim my seat at the table and be able to say that, yes, I am my father's daughter, but at the same time, I'm also my own person. I also have, I can refer to his lessons throughout meetings. I'll say, well, if there's one thing my dad taught me, it's that it's more important for us to, position your product this way than that way. Like I'll sort of pull these little tidbits out, but at the same time, I'll use my own experience that I've developed along the way. So I feel like having that seat at the table started maybe in my mid 30s. I spent like my early 20s and my early 30s kind of figuring out my own position on things. And then by the time, my mid 30s, it was like he wasn't even at the meetings anymore. The clients were turning to me and asking me my opinion on things. And I think being the only woman at the table, like, very, very common to be in a big boardroom in a corporation with a lot of brilliant minds around the table. And oftentimes I would be the only woman. And, we have that way of I think as women, like bringing people together. I think humor also, people who know me know that I do like to joke around. I do like to make silly tongue-in-cheek, comments sometimes. And that kind of, I think, female influence of just like a calming influence sometimes, especially in this development world. Like there's a lot of machismo. There's a lot of, a lot of very strong opinions around the table. And so they'll actually use me sometimes. I'll get guys calling me if there's two or three different partners. They'll all phone me to try to get me on their side, and then kind of use me to mitigate the situation or try to convince this guy to go this way. Like I've definitely been used that way over the years, and I think it's because they see that the female in the room is going to like bring people together.
I have to say, from what I've observed, if I may offer you a compliment, knowing the influence that you have and the knowledge and the experience, all of that said, the way that you handle yourself and the way that you make anyone feel comfortable, you've like really honed your power and your influence and your knowledge, but you still do so in such a way that makes everybody, you're right, you bring people together.
Thank you so much. That is so sweet. And I think I probably have honed it over the years because, especially like in your 20s, when you're trying to figure out your seat at the table and how you are going to interact with everyone. Sometimes it's easier to just sit back and read the room and not sort of lean in immediately. And I feel like in my 20s, I leaned in probably a little bit too much because I was trying to prove myself that, I'm not here just because my dad gave me this job. I was doing coffee and being an assistant to a lot of our senior account executives in my early 20s. But I would be a little bit too aggressive, And I found that that wasn't working for me. And, you do have to kind of figure out what works for you. Why not just get along with everybody all the time? And, you don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to prove yourself.
I think that's such an important thing to talk about, such an important topic. A lot of the women that we hope these pieces will inspire are in that age where you're trying to get that seat at the table, you're trying to get your voice out there, or maybe you're actually not. Maybe you actually are trying to figure out, you don't want to be the loudest, but you want to contribute in different ways. And that's just as valuable. Just realizing and finding that balance, it's a lesson everyone has to go through. But
it comes from maturity, and it comes from experience, and it comes from kind of knowing yourself and valuing yourself, and knowing that like you don't have to, like, being aggressive or interjecting yourself isn't always the way to earn respect. What really earns respect, guys, is hard work. It just, the clients see it. When I have a meeting with a client and they see that at 7:00 that night, I'm sending them an article about, I don't even have the account yet, but like I'm reading an article that I think will be of interest to them, and I shoot that over to them. They're like, wow, she's thinking about me. She's working at 7:00. I'm not saying everybody has to, work 24 hours, but, especially when you're younger, like you got to put in that effort to prove yourself. And that actually means more, like the proof is in the pudding. When it comes to, earning respect and earning that seat at the table, is just, just get down to it. My favorite saying is like, the only way to get something done is just do it.
A little bit, this maybe is a personal question, but I love to explore and chat with women about what motivates them to keep driving forward, to keep working. Is there any little intrinsic inner motivation that you have that kind of propels you forward each day? A little mantra of some sort?
I wish I knew that. Because like I am a workaholic. It's not probably healthy how much I work, but I really, really enjoy it. I love sharing knowledge. I had a developer in here this morning. It's their first time, 2 guys, they've never done any developments. And I just had the best time. We just spent an hour, and I was like, you could, what are you doing with your upgrade program? They're like, we don't know. And I was like, well, here's 3 different ways that you could do it. And they were just like, wow, this has been an amazing meeting. Like, and they hadn't even hired us yet. Like, it was a potential new business meeting. And I just came away like just super pumped. So I think that propels me. And am I addicted? I'm probably a little bit addicted.
Well, it seems like it's not the worst addiction. There are worse.
Real estate's a great business, right? Like advertising, marketing is great. And we get to do marketing and advertising for different types of industries as well. I've worked in a whole bunch of different sectors, but real estate has this incredible full circle opportunity. So I live in a community that we actually marketed in 1997. It won, best planned community. We won all sorts of awards for it. And we were involved in the actual conceptual design of the community. Real estate is about life direction. It's the biggest purchase you're going to make in your life. It's the biggest decision in terms of where you're going to go. And like, we get to play an integral role in that. So like, that's awesome. It's
part of that, you're shaping cities, like your vision from, even though you're not the developer, you are contributing to the direction of that vision of that community. And that changes, the people that live there, the people that are going to move there, like everything. Like it's so incredible.
Yeah. We're really lucky in this industry, and the industry, propels the economy. It gives so many jobs to so many different types of consultants and businesses. It really is like the, it is sustainability for sure across Canada. So we're really lucky.
I get why you're addicted to it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Being able to have a seat at the table in like the overall design of communities for to better people's lives, yeah, I totally agree with you. That's awesome. And you guys get to help sell them, which is great.
Exactly. We're one cog in the massive machine that builds communities.
An important cog, very important cog.
Very important cog, yeah. It reduces all of your paper consumption in your process, and it digitizes everything, right? That's the way forward. All right, I know we've been chit-chatting for a little while. I've got a two-part question. I'd love to know what you're excited about in your life, as in at the partnership, what's going on, what's new, exciting. And the other part is if you're excited about anything in particular in the real estate industry.
So I got involved maybe 5 years ago in the prop tech world with another incredible female entrepreneur. Her name's Dina Pantalone. My father worked with her father. Now the two of us work together, and she is a rare female in the venture capital space in the prop tech world. So she and I have been working together for quite a few years. She turns to me when there are startups that come to her with interesting prop tech ideas. And I think a lot of startups appreciate that they look to, Dina as a builder that can beta test whatever their product is that they're developing. And then me as a connector to be able to introduce them to our network. We have like 65 builders, so being able to bring the builders on board to help them. So I love, anything that is in the technology space for the built environment is where I'm excited. Spark is one of those things in the prop tech world, right? But there's a lot of other really cool things that are out there. So I love working with Dina on that. And that's kind of a side venture from McOuat Partnership, our company. In the real estate world, what am I excited about?
Or just where the real estate industry is heading. There's been so many changes in the last year and a half with, technology, as well as what developers are even going to be building, and if they're modifying floor plans, and things have changed in the last year and a half. I think there's lots to be excited for, but there's also probably some unknowns.
There are many unknowns, absolutely. It does feel like a bit of a frenzy right now. We use the word frothy, we use the word frenzy a lot. It makes me nervous. I've been through some ups and downs in the market, so it definitely makes me nervous. Everyone should just get into ownership and buy as soon as possible, because we really don't know where things are going to go, and now would be the time to get into it. Builders and developers seem to be paying more attention to the design of the home, to the design of the communities and the experiences that can be created through community design, and looking at, the wellness of the residents in the houses, whether it's, better air quality within the home, or more interesting use of outdoor space within the community. I think that's definitely where things are heading right now. COVID has brought that to the forefront for sure.
Have you been seeing any changes in like work from home design, like office design as well? Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's always on the table now, whether we're looking at common elements in a condominium or whether we're looking at home designs. Every home we are defining a space for work from home, even if it's something as simple as a nook. We have some designs where there's multiple home offices because, hey, there's more than one person working at home. So you need to have at least 2 offices, and then home workspace for kids working, doing their work at home. We've always had those things as kind of a back of mind, but now it's front of mind for sure.
Amazing, Lianne. I was going to ask, what's your one piece of advice for next or future female generations? And I feel like you already quoted us a really banger. Just do it.
Oh, just do it. Yeah, I love it. It's totally my saying. I don't know. When people are just like, oh, there's so many different, it's like, just do it. How are we going to get this done? You're going to get it done by doing it rather than just talking about it. So just go out and make it happen.
Go make it happen. Love it. Thanks, Lianne. I think we're all done with our questions today. If there's anything that you want to kind of promote on your end, I know you're always like helping sponsor the PMA webinars or anything like that.
Well, we are doing a lot more virtual events at the agency now. We were just getting ready to open a podcast studio just before COVID started. So I was planning a podcast called On the House, which is like free, but also about houses. So I was getting ready to do that, and then COVID kind of sidetracked that. But we have a ton of clients that have now come to us to do podcasts that we're doing on Zoom, and then eventually our actual studio will get to be used. But yeah, we're super excited about where things are going in terms of virtual communication and connection, because we can connect this way, right? And production costs can be super low with virtual events and podcasts. So yeah, I would promote that.
Thank you, Lianne.
Appreciate it. Okay, thanks,
Thank
guys.
you so much. Bye.